On the right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and rule well. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about how understanding how life and death works is vital to understanding the fullness of the scriptures. If you don't understand how life and death works, there's going to be many gaps in your understanding in regards of prophecy, in regards of how our people ended up in this situation, in regards of judgment. There's going to be many things that you can't grasp if you don't understand how the Lord deals with life and death. Okay? There's going to be many pills that you can't even swallow in regards to judgment and death if you don't understand how the Lord operates. Okay? We over here at Great Millstone, we understand that death isn't necessarily a final thing. Okay? Spirits are eternal. You may be separated from this chain of darkness, this flesh, but death isn't something that's final. That's what the brothers in the book of Maccabees understood. That's what many of our forefathers understood, which is why they were able to take the deaths that they took, which is why they exhibited the boldness that they exhibited in times of trial. All right? So the first precept we're going to go to, guess I could just start straight up in Ecclesiastes. And we'll go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 16 first, and then we'll go to chapter 1. Okay? Just so we can get the understanding of heaven and hell being living conditions. Just kind of dispel that spell casting on the people. All right, so this is Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. It says, and moreover I saw under the sun. All right, what's under the sun? The earth. It says, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Okay, in Catholicism and Christianity, they'll tell you that the place of judgment is underground and you burn in fire forever. And they confuse that with the lake of fire, which is a physical place on the earth that's going to be a memorial for what happens to those who seek after another way outside of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah's way. The lake of fire is going to be Babylon the Great, where all 12 tribes are oppressed together. Okay? But continuing on here in Ecclesiastes 3 and 16, and moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. So this is the place of judgment and righteousness at the same time. Why? Because heaven and hell, they are living conditions. There's no such thing as the hell in the sense that the world teaches. Right now, our people are living in a hellish condition, and the wicked, right now, they're living in their heaven. So we always tell them to live it up. Now, let's go to Ecclesiastes 1, just to double down on this concept here. So when you go to Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, and most of you guys know this, you've been watching, you know these precepts. But we go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. It reads, the thing that hath been is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. And there's no new thing under the sun. Are you new? Of course not. Now, when you go back to the beginning of Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, it says the thing that hath been. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. And it's going to tell us what the thing that hath been is in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Just go there really quick and we'll make our way back. So you go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 10. All right, it reads, that which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. So the thing in Ecclesiastes 1 is man. The thing that hath been is man. It says, neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. So now we go back to Ecclesiastes 1, and we're going to read verse 9 and 10 again. It says, the thing that hath been, now we know that's man, it is that which shall be. So the man is, which hath been is that which shall be. And we'll go to Revelation and get what was said to John the Revelator, just so you could piece together what was actually being said to him now that you get that. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So concepts, you know, the people here, the spirits, you know, those spirits that were wandering in the wilderness for 40 years that was being niggas, those same spirits are back here today. Those same spirits that said crucify him, they're back here today. That's why you see so many parallels of what's going on now with what's in the scriptures. It's the same people doing the same shit. All right? Verse 10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath already been of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former, till you don't have remembrance of these former lives. Sometimes you might experience deja vu, where you feel like, oh man, I feel like I did this before. But you don't have the memories of those past lives. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Okay, now I mentioned John the Revelator. It was told to him on the island of Patmos, where he was held prisoner, that he would have to prophesy again to many people, kings, nations, and tongues. Okay? Is the Lord a liar? Because John the Baptist died on the island of Patmos, right? Are the scriptures going off? Or something else afoot? Afoot. All right? Let's go to Revelation. Bear with me here, guys. Revelation 10. The point is in 11, the last verse of Revelation 10, but I'll start at verse 9, because there's a little point here that doesn't hurt to go into. Revelation 10 and 9, it says, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up. The little book here in this verse, this chapter, is the scriptures. And it shall make take it and eat it up, meaning digest the fullness of the scriptures. And it shall make thy belly bitter. It's a bitter thing, you know, to see the state that our people in, although we're the chosen people to be immortal and to rule over the earth, and we have this relationship with the master of the universe, but we're in this state. It says, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth as sweet as honey. When you first eat something, you know, you taste it, oh, this is good. But when you digest it, if it's something that's, you know, bitter about it, you'll feel it in your stomach. So right here, the angel's telling them it's going to make thy belly bitter, but, you know, it's going to be in thy mouth as sweet as honey. The tip of the iceberg of this thing is like, oh man, we're chosen, we're going to be immortal. But then you realize, look at all the disobedience that our people did. Look at the state we're going to be in. Look at all the hell we got to catch before we get to the good. You know, it's like, oh man, there's some work to do to get to the good stuff. Verse 10, it says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth as sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Okay, the point I wanted in verse 11, it says, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy. Remember, he died on this island of Patmos. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Okay, there's no record that Salakia, not John the Baptist. If I've been saying that, Salakia, guys, it's John the Revelator. Boy. There's no record of John the Revelator ever getting off the island of Patmos. Okay, he would have been way later in age. So the only explanation here would be another lifetime. Okay? Now let's go to I want to go to Daniel, the 12th chapter. And I want to get a point at the end of the chapter, but I'm going to skip around in this chapter a little bit. I'm going to read Daniel 12 and 4 first. It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Did Daniel live in that body up until now? Up until the end? And this is just going into the understanding of the scriptures being sealed up until the time of the end. So the fact that we've woken back up to our heritage is a signifier as well of what time that we're in. It says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. All right, and we're in that time. You jump down to verse 8, he reiterates it, but the point I want is going to be around 12. It says, and I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. So even this topic of reincarnation and regeneration, it's not going to be understood by somebody who the Lord hasn't called or chosen to be a part of the fold. All right? And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Okay? Verse 11 here, it says, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Okay, it's just the period of time when Antiochus went and defiled the temple, for those wondering. All right, here in verse 12, it says, blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days. And, you know, after the Lord took Antiochus out. And verse 13, the point I want, but go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt rest, meaning he's going to pass from this incarnation, as Daniel, and stand in thy lot at the end of days. So Daniel's going to be regenerated and come back in his lot as a prophet as the end of days. So Daniel's here somewhere. Obviously, we don't know which brother it may be. Okay? But he's back. Just like John the Revelator will be back. And just to go into that in thy lot. 1 Corinthians 14:32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So men who were prophets in their past lives, they're going to be prophets now. You don't have a different occupation when you come back. If you was a whole ass nigga going back to Yahweh's time and beyond, you a whole ass nigga today. There's some people that's written in their story to be a hoe. Now, let me see. Oh yeah. Let's go to John the 9th chapter, because there's something. Just want to get this context for you. In John the 9th chapter, Yahweh healed the man that was born blind. Now, keep in mind, this guy was born blind, right? In John the 9th chapter. And Yahweh made a profound statement, and all the disciples, it was something that they just understood, which means this was common knowledge amongst the family of the heavens back during that time. So this is John 9:1. It says, and as Yahweh passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth, all right? And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man? Now, remember, he was born blind. How could his judgment be being born blind if life and death worked as the world thinks, right? Because you can't do nothing as a fetus. So they're asking who's responsible for this man's judgment being blind? Is it him as a fetus, or spiritually, the right train of thought would be a past life, which is what they were saying. John 9:2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Okay? So that this, again, the disciples understood that you're punished on the earth for the sins that you've committed in past lives even. So when we catch in hell a lot of times, you got to realize sometimes it might just be a little judgment from shit you did back then, which is why we constantly got to pray that the Lord, have mercy upon us, man. And then he draws us closer to him, Verse 3, Yahweh answered, neither hath this man sinned, nor his parents. So Yahweh didn't refute that train of thought that they had. Oh, did this guy do something in the past life? He didn't refute that train of thought. He simply said that this man was made blind so he could be a part of the receipts of the miracles that I did and prove that, hey, I am the Son of God. So verse 3, neither has this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. Verse 4, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. So this is, a good example of that thought process being prevalent amongst our forefathers back then, and it wasn't refuted. Okay. Now, there was an account where the disciples asked, okay, some say John the Baptist. Let me see, let me get this precept really quick. All right. This is Matthew 16. Let me pull it up in the blue letter, actually. This is Matthew 16 and 14. That's where I believe it is. Okay, Matthew 16, I'm going to start at verse 13. It says, when Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, who do men say that I am? So like, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Okay. And the reply was this. And they said, some say thou art John the Baptist. You'll be like, how is he John the Baptist? Why are they thinking this guy's another person? Because they understood, again, regeneration, reincarnation. Some say Elias, and others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. Again, this thought process was prevalent, and Yahushua did not refute it. He said unto them, but whom say ye that I am? Who y'all think I am? Y'all know me. Y'all been around me. And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the anointed, the Son of the living God. So, he said, I don't think you none of those, man. You the one that's going to bring us back to the Father. Those men are great men. Those men are prophets, but you're the one prophesied to come. Matthew 16 and 17. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Okay, so boom. And then just to double down on that, let's go get this precept right here. Yahushua even told his disciples that John the Baptist was Elijah. He told him this. So he had this thought process. So if he had it, it must be true. Okay? So, let me go get this. I got to figure out where it is. I got to remember where it's at. It's in Matthew, is it Matthew 11? Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to find this precept that I'm talking about when Yahushua says that John the Baptist is Elijah. All right. Yeah, I go. Okay, it's right here. I'm going to start at verse 11, Matthew 11:11. Verily I say unto you, among them which are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. It's written in red, Yahushua saying this. So you got people that saying John the Baptist wasn't in the truth. This is a cold cut to that. Notwithstanding, he that is the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he, because we're going to be changed and made perfect. Verse 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. All right, the kingdom of heaven, just like the nation of Israel, is a people before it's a place. Okay, and during this time, the violence that the kingdom of heaven was suffering was from the Romans, which were Edomites. All right, and the violent take it by force. Verse 13. For all the prophets and the law prophesied unto John, and if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He was saying that John was Elijah. He that has the ears to hear, let him hear. So, that understanding regeneration, reincarnation is very important, especially when you got scoffers. It was a couple years ago. The apologists were attacking Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter, where it says our king would be taken into slavery in Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter. And they were like, when did that happen? How did that happen? But if you understand regeneration or reincarnation, you understand that the kings of Israel, all of them, they're in captivity until this day. They're back here on the earth today in bondage under the white man. These are concepts that you need to understand to, you know, defend the gospel and to understand the fullness of what the Lord is getting ready to do. So, you know, it didn't make it too long. Abaratazah, that clears up some things, and for those who are new, gets to get the spiritual juices flowing, and you look into it and study and show thyself approved, and start to kind of read the scriptures with that understanding now. And it should be a boost of faith, understanding that death isn't final. And a good account to read is the mother and her sons in Maccabees, the deaths that they took and the boldness they exhibited while they took those deaths, because they understood this concept. And understanding this is also going to empower us to be in great boldness in the face of adversity in the days to come. So Abaratazah, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, double honors to apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.